Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Rodan. And today, as you can see, I have another video for you speaking about Lost Cinema again. So, yeah, again, like I was saying in my previous videos, the basic rundown is that just talk about movies that were never officially released, movies that were never made for whatever reason and whatnot. I'll just talk about different versions of certain movies or whatever. But bottom line, like I said before, four is that just because you made it into the film industry doesn't mean your vision would actually get made. I'm not saying you can't, but some things can't get in the way, and sometimes, unfortunately, it can't be made for whatever reason. So I guess you can say this could even apply to franchises. Of course, they are not accessible. I guess if I'm pronouncing that right, when it comes to this kind of a thing. So yeah, this was going to be a part of a franchise, more specifically the Hasty series Gazelle films, which again is my personal favorite. It's actually more of a direct sequel to the original Gazelle film. And this movie was going to be called The Return of King Hedorah. And this movie was going to be a sequel to, yeah, Gazelle was King Hedorah, which was a big success at the time. So, the plot line roughly just goes around the idea that there was a space monster thing that comes down to Earth, and yes, of course, as you can get yourself, began terrorizing the planet, of course. So the monster, this creature, bears a strange resemblance to King Hedor, a monster in this continuity anyway that was created by the future people just a year prior and was given the same name as a result, of course. Humanity must rely on Godzilla in order to stop the new King Ghidorah before Earth is finally destroyed. So yeah, the stakes here were pretty high, of course. In large part, it was due to the success of this film, as mentioned earlier, and they want to, I guess, bring back, I guess, in some extent, the this version of the character in some ways, I guess, because the character was pretty popular and showed up in the films quite a few times, and it was even that one show as well where, of course, there'll be multiple monsters fighting at once, of course, and which I guess makes sense because this kind of thing was also in the movies as well, having multiple creatures doing a bunch of crazy stuff. So I guess this was this movie's attempt to bring that back, having like this space sci-fi thing. I guess you can say from the original series. I guess from the original continuity. So okay, if someone bring that, at least that's what I got from this anyway. Like if someone bring that back to some extent, I guess. So okay, yeah, this was gonna be a thing, folks. Obviously, and I guess you can say that I do see why they were trying to make this character come back because he was definitely a pretty likable character, even though he's destroying shit and whatnot. And yeah, King Hedorah was basically one of his of those top rivals in the original series and the '90s films as well. So again, yeah, I can see why they were bringing would wanted to bring him back and at least consider bringing him back. I guess in this case because he was quite popular among fans. So yes, it does make perfect sense that this would be, of course, a thing among them, folks. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep things rather short and simple for this case, folks, because I'll just keep this fairly short. And also because of the fact I have a lot of other things I would, of course, do for this channel as well, obviously. But point being is that, of course, things didn't plan out that kind of way either. The character would never made a return, at least not in this continuity anyway. Never King Hedorah never made a return in his own film. I guess you can say in this continuity. In a different series, these two characters did fall again later on, but that was a different series of films entirely. But for this continuity, the character never made a return. But there looks like there were plans, of course. But yeah, but of course, according to the fan base, I guess he wasn't popular enough. Well, he is a fan favorite, yes, but not as popular as let's say of characters like Mothra. So of course, Toho, the company that made this, had been making these films. The studio Toho pretty much had to, I guess, figure out what to do exactly and plan things out because, of course, they want their movies to make money. Of course, they want people to go see their film, obviously, because And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Ultimately, the film industry, whether people like it or not, is a business. And of course, they want to make money. So, of course, they want to make sure they will go for the thing that will make them the most money, obviously. So, of course, well, I don't have an issue with making money, really, with studios want to make money, but it would become an issue for me anyway if money is like the only reason they would want to do certain things. And I mean, I get it. The studios have to survive. The directors want to be hired, and they want to be survive as well. Of course, I get that. Obviously, of course, you want to have your job. I mean, you want to have your job be secured, which yes is perfectly understandable. Everybody has bills to pay. Yes, of course, that makes sense. Okay, sidetracking here. But point being, of course, they want to go with what bring the most money. They want to go with what's popular, of course. What would make the audience want to see your movie, of course. And why are the Heisei series of Godzilla films never reached the same type of popularity as the golden age of the kaiju film? But they did manage to get some popularity, at least to some extent, in Japan. These types of films, the Godzilla Heisei series, were completely ignored in the Godzilla in the America in the United States of America. These types of Godzilla films were just largely ignored by a lot of people, unfortunately, because a lot of people were way familiar with the original series of films. But I guess that's the thing. I'm not saying that played a factor into the production of the film. I'm not saying that. I'm just putting that little tidbit for you, folks. All right, let's just wrap things up already, folks. Because, like I said, I don't want this to be for too long, obviously. So let's just wrap them up, of course. But there was, yes, a poll that was made. Of the two characters between King Ghidorah and Mothra, it was stated that Mothra is more popular. So, of course, they just ditched this film and want to make Mothra instead. Because, so bottom line, they ditched this film. They canned this film because King Ghidorah is not as popular as, of course, as Mothra. So, yeah, that was a thing, folks, when it comes to this kind of a thing. So there was that. So it's unfortunate that this film was never made. I'd like to see how it would have done. Of course, I guess they were going to go for really really sci-fi heavy kind of a thing, but instead they just went more of a fantasy route. I guess you can say more of a fantasy kind of a thing instead for the next installment of the Godzilla Heisei series, I suppose. So, but I guess in other words, it is what it is. Again, this is a business after all, and they do have to make money. All right, I guess. So yeah, it should be pretty obvious what I'm going to say next, folks. The next film was not going to be this one, like at all. It was not going to be done the way it was planned, like whatsoever. Unfortunately, I would like to see King Ghidorah back, but then at the same time, I'm getting tired of Toho keep reusing the old monsters again and again and again and again and again. And which, of course, is something I ranted about quite a few times before, believe folks, if I'm going to be honest with you. But here we are. But again, they just want to stick with the familiar and make sure they get the green, the money. Which, yes, I realize, like I just said a moment ago, they want to make these films popular and make these films make money because they want to stay in business. Which, yes, to some extent, I can agree on that. I can see what they're saying. All right, yada yada yada, blah 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 blah. So basically, as if it was obvious enough, like I was saying, this version was ditched because, yep, the next film is on Mothra, the Battle for Earth, which honestly is kind of a misleading title because you're thinking that these two characters would team up, but they never did. They actually fought each other. Anyway, I guess that's it, folks. So it's not much I can say. Then I would have said, folks. I just want to keep this fairly short. So anyway, of course, as always. Thanks for watching and take care. Till next time, folks. See ya. Oh, yeah, later. I still got some more films to talk about.